Hey everybody, welcome back. It's a fantasy endgame and it's draft time. That's right. Bring on 2025 football.
Yes.
I really can't look. Two things here. I love summer. It's my favorite season of all, and I wish summer never ended, which I know a lot of people feel that way. But it's always the cushion is always blown by football season. It's always something to look forward to
Yes.
because I mean, come on, who doesn't love week one, the start of the season, right? That first Monday night game and all that. So, unfortunately, while we are at the very beginning of summer, which again, great, I love summer. We're not quite there for football, but good news, you don't have to wait to draft. We're gonna do it again right now. We've been drafting since I don't think I can like put a date on it because we never stopped drafting. Did we ever stop drafting ever?
I mean, I think we stopped drafting during the season, but as soon as the season ended, we were right back to drafting.
All right. I guess it's kind of hard to do a football draft when it's the middle of the season, but
Right.
basically, as soon as the playoffs, the Super Bowl ended, we were drafting for this year, and you can do it too. So get on Underdog, and you can join us right now. You want to jump in a draft? Let's do it, guys. Let's draft together for the 2025 season. Get some best ball in. So if you're familiar with Underdog, good. You should be. You already know how this works. Go to the draft lobby. You got so many choices, and we try to mix it up. We've been doing a couple of different ones, but let's get back to the big one, Best Ball Mania 6. All right, so we're going to do that. If y'all want to go ahead and get in your lobbies, get your app open, go to your drafts, and go to BBM 6, we're going to do, of course, the fast clock, 20 seconds per pick. Before we do that, though, before we jump in, I want to remind you, you got tonight, well, basically, and then tomorrow day, one more day, 24 hours left to take advantage of this promo for NBA. You might know the NBA finals are about to start. And so they have something called the extender. And this basically is a boost for your pick'ems. And the longer the series, the bigger the boost. So I don't know if you actually care. Honestly, I'm not sure how many people outside of Indiana and Oklahoma City really do care who wins this finals. Look, just being honest, but it doesn't matter. I don't care who wins either. You want that series to go longer. You want it to go 7 because every game that it extends, that extends your boost. So get it now. If you do pick'ems anyways, you might as well. So jump in there. Again, this doesn't have to be NBA picks. Doesn't have to be NFL futures. It doesn't have to be MLB. Although, we do have a baseball stream right after this that you can jump on and maybe get some hints. Whatever you want. All right. So use the extender. You got 24 hours. Take advantage of this. It's just a little boost to help you win more money on Underdog. And if you don't, for some reason, have an Underdog account, go to Underdog, use code NGAME when you sign up, because when you do that, you get a free pick and up to $1,000 of bonus cash still. I'm honestly shocked they still have that. I thought that was like a
Right.
short-term thing, like $1,000 of extra cash, but it's still there. So use code NGAME, get your deposit match, get your free picks, use the extender, and jump in a draft with us right now. So here we go. I love this, by the way. Sorry, got a Walter John. That's exactly right.
Yeah. Yep.
There is no off season.
No.
There doesn't exist here at the end game, does it?
No off season. No off season.
All right, guys. Here we go. We're gonna get into Best Ball Mania 6. Remember, click 20 seconds per pick. I think it's defaulted, but just make sure you got that in. Let's get in the same draft in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Looks like you've
We're the
got
first ones. All right. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. That means some of y'all will get in here too. What's up, Double D Racing? How's it going? Sportshead, J Love.
all right, but we do have to talk. There was some news today that I'm not happy with.
Not happy. Okay.
I don't know if you saw, but J.K. Dobbins is going to meet with the Broncos tonight.
I did see that. I did. Now that you mention it, nothing officially.
This is very not good for my RJ Harveys.
Yeah, my RJ Harvey best ball, but also my RJ Harvey reaching to get him in dynasty rookie drafts. But look, how worried are you really?
I mean, you have you have to be at least a little worried because he's going from assuming they signed Dobbins. And look, they might not, right? This happens all the time where they meet and they leave with no deal. And maybe weeks and weeks go on and nothing ever happens, right? But if they do sign Dobbins, you have to be worried. Like, Dobbins was not bad last year. Like, is Dobbins any less a threat to RJ Harvey than Najee Harris is to Amari and Hampton?
I think that's a fair comparison.
Right. So RJ Harvey going from the entire, possibly the entire Denver backfield with Sean Payton to having to share the backfield with J.K. Dobbins is not good. It's not the kiss to death, right? It's not like, oh, RJ Harvey is now undraftable, but he went from he would go from a running back who potentially, like, legit could be a league winner this year to a guy who might just be good.
Well, I see it this way. I think the comparison you made to the Chargers with Najee and Hampton is exactly right, because what it means is early in the season, we'll see probably a mix, and it maybe leans more towards favoring the veteran, right? Just it's normal. Rookie running backs these days, outside of, a first round pick, which barely happens except until this year. Those top couple of guys, especially on a team, like the Raiders, where there is no other option. Like there's nothing. But for the most part, rookie running backs, they get eased into things. You don't see it till mid-season that they start to come through. So RJ Harvey was the exception because he had no competition. It was, I guess, what is Audric Estime still there? I think, and
yeah, he's still there.
Julian McLaughlin. Those guys weren't threats. But to me now, this just makes it so it's a similar situation. You're going to see kind of that mix of both of them early in the season, and then the second half, expect the rookie to pull away. So you know what? This for just strictly for underdog, I might like this if it actually happens and if it suppresses his ADP, because it was like all the rookies, it was getting a little crazy. Right now, he's like in the 50s. If it gets down to like the 60s, at least, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I agree with everything you said, honestly. But the main difference here now is, yes, we would like to think that RJ Harvey can pull away from J.K. Dobbins as the season goes on. But he may not. Like, if Dobbins is playing well, just like if Najee is playing well, like, he may not. Whereas if J.K. Dobbins isn't even there, I have almost no doubt that he will be getting the lion's share of the work sooner rather than later. So there's now risk that we never see him, in a true lead role, at least this year. Look, in Dynasty, still fine, because even if they sign Dobbins to some 1-year deal, it doesn't mean Dobbins is back next year.
Well, here's the difference. This is why I'm not, I guess, as worried, because by season's end, by fantasy playoffs, whatever, even Hampton, becomes more of the guy, Najee Harris will still be there, because Najee Harris for 4 straight seasons has played in 17 games.
He hasn't missed a game since like his sophomore year of college or something.
Yeah. And J.K. Dobbins, I will almost be surprised if by week 14 he's still standing, So that's why I feel a little less worried about that, because J.K. Dobbins, I think this hurts Harvey's like early season value, but that's about it.
Yeah, I mean that is a good point. Like, Najee Harris, I mean, nobody is injury proof, but Najee Harris is as close as it gets.
Well, speaking of rookie running backs, again, Gianti usually goes in the top 10. I haven't been taking him too much. I guess I'll take him here.
I thought about taking him over Neighbors simply because I have a lot of Neighbors already.
Yeah, same.
But I took Neighbors again.
And so here's the dilemma. Do I double tap RB? I think I will.
Man, again, we see Team 12 get CMC Nico. That is just borderline unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, all right. Well, yesterday I went Neighbors Lad, so let's not do that today. Let's go Neighbors Achan today. Dark Star in at 3. Took Jefferson. Nice. What's up, Matt?
Yeah, one of my slow drafts I'm in. I just picked today. I think it's a BBM. Pretty sure. I had the 9th pick, and Gianti was still there, but actually I went Nico. But I feel like there's so many directions you could go there. Look, in this draft, Brian Thomas was taken 9th overall. And in my same draft I'm talking about, he's still on the board and the first round's over. So I might get him on the way back. So there, it's still pretty pliable there at the turn.
For sure. I keep saying, this is why I like to pick 10, 11, 12. I mean, you're going to get, in most drafts, you're going to get 2 of Brian Thomas Jr., Amon-Ra St. Brown, Ashton Jeanty, Christian McCaffrey, Nico Collins, Derrick Henry, or Drake London. Like, you're going to get 2 of those guys. That's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
You know, I just love it. Gives you so many options, and you can kind of decide right there, what build do I want? I mean, you could go double receiver and be totally happy. Like I said, Nico BTJ. You could go double running back. I mean, that's why I did. I got Gianti and Henry. You could go CMC and Henry. Still be happy. Well, assuming you get good receivers on the way back. But you know, you have a lot of flexibility.
Yep.
What's up, Anthony? On the sidelines, but taking notes. See, still doing work in the off season, but I know he's going to be on for the baseball stream.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Some interesting. We've had some players go earlier than we normally see in this draft, like Rashee Rice, pretty early there. Like I'm like, if T. Higgins falls to me here, I probably have to take T. Higgins, even if I don't want to.
So you're not completely out. There he goes.
Yeah, he went. Well, I mean, if the most, honestly, the 2 most important things in these drafts. Oh man, it's hard not to take Chase Brown here again.
You haven't taken him in every draft. But I know you already have a running back.
Yeah.
That's okay.
But the two most important things in every draft, and the 2 things we can actually control as drafters, because we can't control, you know, if Malik Neighbors tears his ACL week 1. You know, we can't control if, you know, whatever, Ashton Jeanty, you know, is fumbling the football and Pete Carroll's benching him. You know, and we can't control that type of stuff.
Right.
But we can control when we get players at a discount, meaning they're going far below where they normally go. In that case, that's where I will set aside my bias towards the player and say, hey, just take the discount, because it's been proven that is one of the best strategies you can use, is getting players at discounts. And then number 2, of course, is roster construction. How many running backs, wide receivers, QBs, tight ends you take, when you take them, that sort of stuff. So if T. Higgins had fallen there, because normally T. Higgins goes like right there around like where Garrett Wilson is. So if T. Higgins would have fallen there, I would have had to pull the trigger on T. Higgins.
You know, you got to remember, it's best ball. He doesn't have to be good every week.
True, but when it's your second round pick, you're kind of you're expecting them to be in your lineup pretty much every week.
Yeah.
You're not taking a guy in the second and looking for random spike weeks.
He should be good most weeks. Well, actually, I just saw, I think it was it today, yesterday, about T. Higgins. We were just talking about it. He's got a different off-season workout regimen because he's trying to avoid those soft tissue injuries. You're like, oh, okay. Thanks, 5 years later, when you could have been doing that from the beginning.
Yeah, but I don't even know if that. Remember, okay, I don't want to already jinx T. Higgins. But do you remember who last year was working on balancing his legs to mitigate his soft tissue injuries?
It was probably Christian Watson.
It was Christian Watson. Remember, it's like, hey, look, he's actually addressing it. And what happened? Season-ending injury. Like I do think. I mean, man, I don't want to like throw out the injury prone, but I do think maybe just some people, the way they're built, like
Yep.
anatomically, maybe leads to the higher risk of injury. I don't know, because it's weird how certain players, like a T. Higgins, like a Christian Watson, are continually dealing with stuff.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Look, they're all playing the same sport. They're doing the same drills. It's all the same, Well, why certain players over and over again? And it's not just the same exact injury in the same exact place. It's here, it's there, it's everywhere.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're like, oh, this guy can't catch a break. It's just it's nothing he's doing intentionally. It's just that's the way the body works sometimes. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't predict injury, and of course, just when you think a guy is, an Iron Man, then they get injured, and vice versa. So, yeah, you don't want to put too much into that. I will say though, we know coming off a serious injury, an Achilles and ACL, greater risk for not only re-aggravating that injury, but also others that compensate. So you can't just throw it out the window either.
Right. Man, this draft has been interesting.
What'd you do? Oh, I almost thought you went tight end. I was going to be shocked. Okay. Kenny Walker. That's a good one. We got
This is almost why I wish I had gone Neighbors Lad again.
3 RB. Okay.
I know.
Well, I guess I'm gonna pass on RJ Harvey. No, I already have Jonathan and Henry. I don't need a running back. Some more completely unwarranted hype in June. I saw that Jalen Waddle is being predicted by Cameron Wolf, Dolphins beat writer, to have his best season ever. So
I mean, what is he basing that off of?
I mean, come on, just because just he's due.
That's what I said about him last year. I specifically remember I did a video where I said, and even on the live streams, I said, usually, I try to base it in analytics and come up with like sound reasoning for why I like a guy, like, oh, his quarterback's better, or oh, like, the number one wide receiver's gone, or whatever, right? I remember specifically saying for Jalen Waddle, I have no analytical thing to back up him being better this year. I just feel like he's a good player coming off a down year, and just because of that, he will get better. That did not work out.
Didn't pan out. No.
See, I would have had to take, if Harvey had fallen there, I would have had to take Harvey, even though I already have so many running backs. I feel like, gross.
You got Burrow 10 picks past ADP. This is back-to-back days we see Burrow fall. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
Well, so that's interesting. You got the QB RB stack with Chase Brown.
That's true. Does that count?
No, yeah, that totally works. I've done that before. I mean, it's not something you typically do, but I think it's okay. You get both ends if the Bengals are putting up points through the passing game or the running game.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I'm like, can I have a fourth running back here already? I can't have a fourth running back already. It's too soon.
Yeah. It's a little aggressive.
I'm way behind on wide receiver now, and that's not good.
Well, yeah, I see what you're saying. Is that you're taking a quarterback there? It means you're not taking a receiver. But I feel like whoever's left on the board is not a big difference. Whoever's going to be left for you on the way back.
Let's hope.
Anthony saying looks like the talent pool is deeper than last year. Think so?
No, I think it's the same as it is every year. It's just we haven't. The season hasn't started yet, so we haven't been treated to the busts and the injuries yet.
Yeah, too early for injuries, and everybody's a breakout or a sleeper at this point in the season.
Man, again, there's no. I mean, Darnell Mooney is the best wide receiver on the board.
Look, still got 5 in a row. Very serviceable running back. So put that.
I know, but what I mean is like I only have 2 wide receivers through 7 rounds. That is not ideal. That is far from ideal.
So at this point, and again, Judkins isn't a bell cow or anything like that, but got some upside. So with 4 running backs in the first 7 rounds, going the rest of the way, are you thinking kind of like a hyper fragile?
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably stop at 5 running backs, and I might end up with like 8 wide receivers in this draft. Not ideal. Not ideal.
Oh, I was just about to take Hawk. Well, I was going to wait on running back also, but
But I blame team 9 who has yet to take a running back.
Oh, really? They're going, oh yeah, sure enough. 6. Actually, look, both these teams back to back.
Ah, that's why all the wide receivers are gone.
Yeah, look, this team has 6. Both these teams right after me. 6. Look, another one. 7 receivers, no running backs. This guy just took his first running back. His first running back is B-Rob.
Man,
So even if
I don't even get Darnell freaking Mooney.
Yeah, I like Darnell Mooney a decent amount.
I do too, but it's like, man, I can't even get Mooney.
Huh.
Yeah, this team is.
Well, but this is part of it. You got to zig when they zag, right? We have 2 extreme 0 RB teams in the same draft. You got to take the value. Right now, the value's at running back. So I just took, I'm pretty sure, my first Pat Mahomes. I did that because I got Xavier Worthy and he was there, and I didn't like any of the receivers. And okay, because I have 4 receivers. So I don't know with Pat Mahomes these days, which is still weird, but like if I have Pat Mahomes as my first QB, depending on where I take my second QB, do I need a third QB?
Yeah, this is the range where I'm probably taking a third QB, honestly.
Like,
because Pat Mahomes, I mean, if you get the Pat Mahomes you got last year, you definitely need a third QB.
Right. So I think I'm like, maybe I could get away with it. So Baker Mayfield, if he happens to fall to me, because I got Mike Evans, so that'd be nice. If I go Mayfield, Mahomes, like I could probably get by with that the whole season. But once you get past Mayfield and Knicks, if those guys are both off the board, then yeah, I think whoever my backup QB is, I'm probably needing a third. Look at it, Justin Fields taking a pick 100 before.
All right, I don't like Cup this year, but I'm getting Cup at a 20 pick discount here, so we're gonna suck it up and take Cooper Kupp.
Suck it up and get Cooper Kupp. Oh, I have an Ingram. Okay. Well, there you go. It's like if Baker falls to me, I guess I'll do it. Don't like taking 2 quarterbacks this early, but no worries. I'm just gonna get future Steeler Jonnu Smith.
Let's hope not. Keep him on the Dolphins, please.
I feel like quarterbacks in general are falling a bit in this draft too.
Yeah, Team 10 still does not have a running back. That is 0 RB to the max.
Man, I don't want another running back yet. Okay, I guess I'll reach it a little bit. Take 3. Okay, Anthony's saying they take 3 QBs. Would you keep CMC or Sun God round 1 of a keeper league?
I think you got to do Sun God because he's a wide receiver. It's full PPR, and he's significantly younger with way less injury risk. So I think there's a much better chance that next year you're keeping Amon-Ra again over CMC. So I think it's got to be Amon-Ra.
Yeah, it's just probably the safer, smarter pick, but it's like it's as high of a floor as you can get. I don't think you're going to be disappointed with Amon-Ra, even if CMC does have a CMC type season and actually lasts all season. I don't think at any point this season you'd be like, man, Sun God, what a bust. I think you'll be okay. So yeah, if it's me, I'm taking Amon-Ra for sure. All right, Tony, what's up, Tony Libertella? Keep JSN in round 7 or Chase Brown a round later. This is typical PPR, not super flex. So JSN or Chase Brown?
I mean, I think it's probably JSN, but I mean, it's JSN, but I think it's especially JSN in a 3 wide receiver, 1 flex, full PPR. That just makes wide receivers more valuable. Again, JSN younger at a position that typically has a longer lifespan, which means he could potentially continue to be your keeper. I think it's got to be JSN.
I mean, I feel like Chase Brown's the better value here. Not just he's around later, but he's typically going about the same range as JSN. But I think having those running backs that are looks like he's going to be a workhorse, I feel like that's pretty valuable. So this is close. I think honestly, this is going to come down to how you feel about Sam Darnold in Seattle. So I think you could go either way here. I think this also depends too, Tony, on how many keepers you get, how many running backs get kept that are going to be off the board when you draft. You know what I mean? If there aren't those RB1 types just available at all, I might go Chase Brown. So I think to some extent this is league dependent. Okay, let me get a player before I time out. Okay. All right, got busy answering questions. I'm gonna set my queue. All right, what are we, round 12? Round 12. Okay. You're balanced, perfectly balanced, as all teams should be. You got 5 and 5 at running back and receiver.
Yeah. All right. Well, the nice thing is I'm only drafting wide receiver and tight end the rest of the draft, so that makes decisions easier.
Yeah, makes it easier for your queue.
Don't think I'm going to like this team very much, to be honest.
We'll see. It's usually not as bad as you think. Oh, there goes Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Anybody else can have Kyle Pitts. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm pretty much 100% out on Pitts, like forever. And there go all the good number 2 running backs. Well, this is, the point of the draft where I feel pretty good about going early RB because I don't have to sweat too much who I take here. These are just, lotto tickets.
Yeah, I would have liked that Tucker Craft discount there. I feel like I've been sniped a lot in this draft too. It's been a rough draft, no doubt. But it's gonna happen sometimes.
This draft, I mean, obviously our guys here are watching, but in general, I feel like this is it's an experienced group, right? You kind of get that sense.
Yeah, experienced group, and man, it's tough when you're stuck in the middle. It's just tough.
That too.
2 drafts in a row, stuck in the middle. Come on, underdog. But you never know.
No, that's what makes it fun. You never know exactly how the draft's going to shake out.
Cooper Kupp becomes a stud again. Christian Kirk takes the slot role in Houston. Luther Burden, 60-yard touchdown slants every week. Suddenly this team's winning $1 million.
And it all hinges on Cooper Kupp. It's true. You never know. One thing we do know is you just got to bet on upside. That's it. Wherever it comes from. I'm gonna keep saying it as long as I can. Maybe Cam Ward is this year's Jaden Daniels. Why not take a chance on Cam Ward if he's your second quarterback, your third quarterback? If he has that kind of season and you get him at pick 160, absolutely could be a league winner. Some of these players that are available at this range, like this is where the league winners are. It's right here at this point in the draft. It's not round 1 or 2.
Yeah, I like Cam Ward. I just don't know if he can run to the level of JD, but
he runs as needed. Like he'll take the yards that are given to him. He won't run
right.
Just tuck the ball around, which is good. Right? He tries to make the play downfield. Anthony got another keeper question here. JT over Breece. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's
similar round. Can only keep for 2 more years. We talked a lot about Breece yesterday. You got to do that.
Yeah, we know JT's the workhorse. Breece, we don't know.
Yeah. So I see Muth is still on the board. He's at the top of the ADP rankings right now. There he goes. Just got taken. Not that you were going to take him, but
no.
Or would you have? You got Gesicki. You took a tight end. If Muth was there, do you take Muth?
No, I would have taken Gesicki just for the stack with Burrow.
Does the thought, the possibility of Jonnu Smith or somebody, especially if it's a tight end, though, somebody from at any position coming over to Pittsburgh, does that kind of push you off of Muth a little bit or no?
Yeah, I mean, no. If they really went out and traded for Jonnu Smith, it's got to push you off of Muth. It's got to. I still have doubts if that's going to happen though.
All right. Well, nobody's taking him. I guess I have to take the Broncos RB1.
Oh man, here we go.
Only because that's my first J.K. Dobbins. I have none of him, so might as well do it now before his ADP skyrockets. I mean, realistically, J.K. Dobbins signs with Denver tomorrow. His ADP goes from what, barely inside the top 200 to what?
I would say
150s
at least. I probably at least right there, and probably ahead of Najee. I'll bet people will draft him ahead of Najee.
Yeah, maybe. I think that's reasonable. Kind of like my team so far. Just need a little more depth at receiver, but I just noticed that after Jonte, my first pick, I don't have a single other rookie at running back or receiver or tight end. Weird.
I just noticed you took DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's got a little bit left in the tank. My next pick might shock you.
I don't even know who it could be.
Let's see. What do we have? 2 picks left, right?
2 picks left. Tutu.
Yes.
No faith in Devontae Adams, huh?
No, it's not no faith. I think he still gets involved. The third receiver, and if Puka or Devontae gets hurt, Puka's had some injuries. You never know.
We have a Marquez Valdez-Scantling pick. I didn't even know he was on Seattle, to be honest.
Yeah, that was not me.
I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't even know he was in Seattle.
Yep, because Sam Darnold can hit that deep ball like nobody else. Actually, Team 12 here just took MVS and Elijah Arroyo. So we got a Seahawks fan.
Well, he did take Sam Darnold, so I guess he was going for the Seahawks stack.
That's
there.
The discount, the bargain basement stack.
Yes.
I considered Alec Iomanor for my Cam Ward stack, and I was like, no, that's a little deep. That's a little deep. Why not Tutu Atwell instead?
All right, we'll see how this team turned out.
All right. Last round, last few picks. So let's see what you wound up with. 2, I can't, it keeps changing. 2, 5, 8, 3.
Yep. I just once I took Achane over Ladd, it was like, okay, wide receivers are gone, the running back value is there. I just took it and then I just loaded up on wide receiver quantity over quality.
Quantity over quality. Not usually a good recipe for success, but she got one of them. Yeah, these are all flyers. There's going to be more, as Anthony mentioned, a lot more Carson Steeles than there are,
Yeah, don't listen to camp noise.
Okay. That was it. I think that was the last pick.
That was the last pick.
All right. Let's break down these teams. Let's see how much you love this team. Got Burrow at a pretty healthy discount, 10 picks after ADP with CJ Stroud. You got to be pretty happy with that.
Are you at all worried about the CJ Stroud shoulder thing?
No, I'm not worried in June. He's not like he didn't have surgery or anything, right? They said it was just like soreness.
Yeah.
Too soon. Achane, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker, Judkins, and Tootin. Ton of upside. And I think that's fair. You can go 5 running backs with that group because if 2 of those top 3 don't pan out for the whole season, who's really going to save you in round 16 and up? Probably nobody.
Yeah. No, if 2 of those top 3 don't pan out, this team's dead anyways.
Right. Look, your receivers are still good. You got Neighbors, of course, Travis Hunter, Luther Burden, actually very young. I say starting through the early wide receivers, and then you got Cooper Kupp, and then you got Christian Kirk, Slayton Mitchell, and Wicks. Look, those are best ball specialists. We know those guys will get you a couple weeks. I don't think your success depends on Cooper Kupp or Christian Kirk. Look, if Travis Hunter, I think, is the wild card here. If he's startable most weeks in this format, meaning he's got one of the better scores, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm definitely banking on Travis Hunter being very good.
Now, you did wait on tight end quite a bit. You got Likely, Strange, and Gesicki. I like Strange a lot. Likely will be fine. I think he's fine in this format. There's some rumors of Mark Andrews. They're wanting to get rid of him, but they still haven't. I think Mark Andrews is still a Raven.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just, I think this is the first time I've drafted Likely.
This does feel a little bit different for you. It's a little different.
It's definitely a little different. Sometimes you got to zig when everybody's zagging, right?
But this draft, like you said, this draft was different. Like everyone was just pounding receivers early.
Yes.
Mine is a little different. I went Mahomes, Tua, and Cam Ward. I mean, besides Pat Mahomes, I love my quarterbacks.
Also, why is Cam Ward's picture so small? Same with Ashton Genty. Why is it look how tiny he is?
Yeah, I know. It's like you're trying to minimize the rookies, and some don't even get pictures. Okay, so I went Jonty Henry, Pollard, Benson, Dobbins, and Marks. Probably didn't need Marks, but whatever. I love this RB room.
Yeah, you gotta feel good about that RB room, especially if Dobbins signs with Denver. You gotta feel great about that RB room.
Evans, Worthy, Waddle, Odunze, Mims, D-Hop, and Tutu. So, it's not as strong, but what do you think?
I think it's fine. I mean, plenty of weekly upside here if Waddle does bounce back. And Odunze has like that year 2 breakout, plenty of upside here.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Waddle, Odunze could kind of be make or break here.
And look, you got the Waddle to Jonnu stack, so nothing wrong with that.
There you go. Jonnu and Njoku. Not bad. All right. Different mix. We'll try to mix it up again the next time we draft, which will be soon. But don't forget, tomorrow is the full mock PPR. We're going to do that on Sleeper. You guys draft with us. And so we're going to really get to see exactly how these players are being valued by you, the community. So if you want to jump in on that, make sure you got notifications on. That way you'll know as soon as we go live for every draft. We're going to continue to be drafting. We're going to be doing more drafting as we get closer to football season. But meanwhile, enjoy the summer sun. And if you like baseball, which is it's all about summer here, then you can join us. Check us out on the other channel. That's right. We got Fantasy Endgame MLB. So we're going to do a live stream in just a few minutes and talk about what's what for our midweek Q&A. But we'll see you all for our mock hopefully tomorrow.